What's going on, people? Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to another video. I hope you guys are doing well tonight. Listen, this is your last match reaction to every single Premier League game before the World Cup, because the World Cup is in 6 days time. That's right, 6 days time. Today is November the 14th and the World Cup starts on the 20th of November. So 6 days time, that's when the World Cup starts. So yeah, 6 weeks without Premier League football. It's going to be sad and disappointing. But listen, the FIFA Cup is one of the best tournaments in the world, so we could just sit back and enjoy the rest of the team on how they perform, who's going to win, and yeah, who's going to be the champion of the world. So we shall wait and see. So I'm looking forward to it. I know you guys will be looking forward to it, but for me, as a Chelsea fan, I am so glad that there's a break, because I'm sick and tired of my team watching Chelsea performing week in week out. Because if there was no FIFA World Cup and we faced that team at that game, I would not be confident. So I'm so glad that there's no Chelsea games from now until Boxing Day, because, like I said, whenever I see my team, I just get frustrated, angry, disappointed. So thank goodness there's no more Chelsea games until Christmas. So that's basically it. So that's it. So here we go, guys. If your team won this week before the World Cup, then congratulations. If you lose, you'll be very disappointed. But there's still a long way to go. It can still come back from this. So that's basically it. And guess what? There was lots of goals and no draws whatsoever. Not even one. Well, there was one team that could have had the draw, but instead of losing, I'll get to that in just a minute. But yeah, no draws before the World Cup, so that's good. That's good then. So let's start off with this week's Premier predictions. But before we get started, if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. If you are also new, make sure you hit the subscribe button below, hit the bonus notification so that you never miss any of my content, and make sure you click the share button so that you guys can go over your predictions and see how many points you've got. If you got higher than me, then that's really good. If you got lower than me, then still keep on trying, and then you become more better than me when it comes to Premier predictions. So you make sure you guys do that. So without further ado, let's move on into my last Premier predictions review before the World Cup. Alright, so the first game already was the shock game before the World Cup, and that is Manchester City up against Brentford. Now, I should have realised that Man City don't really do well when it comes to 12 p.m. kickoff games, especially at home, because last season we seen that Leeds, and then we seen that, I think it was against Leicester. So maybe, just maybe, I should have not predicted a Man City to win. And yeah, but I did, so it's too late. But I went for 4-0 Manchester City, and I got 0 points because it's actually 2-1 to Brentford. And Ivan Toney, listen, I'm for me, yeah, as a Chelsea fan, I've got to feel bad and sorry for Ivan Toney because he didn't select for the England World Cup. Like I said, Southgate, those are big players on form. He scored 2 goals against Manchester City, one for a brilliant header and one for a brilliant counter-attack by Brentford and he scored in the last minute. I feel sorry for him. He should have got picked, yeah? He should have got picked as well. I'm glad that Phil Foden got picked because his goal was absolutely so fantastic, but Ivan Toney should have got picked as well. So for me, Gareth Southgate got it completely wrong. And his celebrations tell you that he didn't want to smile and laugh. He just want to be, doing this so that he would let the world know why he should have got picked. So for me, Gareth Southgate got it wrong, but excuse me. So congratulations to Brentford. They deserved it. They defended really well. Thomas Frank went for 3-5-2, nullified City's defense and attack, and they deserved it. And there was lots of VAR, the likes of Haaland hand penalty, Kevin De Bruyne penalty, handball in the first half before Foden scored that goal. And you have to say that all of them were correct. And VAR made 5 decisions in that game. That is the most in Premier League history. So they've been very, very busy. But the commentator said it was right. I thought it was right. So Listen, so Man City complain all they want, but when they look at it, they'll realize that they got it absolutely spot on. And yeah, Brentford did really, really well. They had more chances to make, and Ivan Toney could have had a hat trick, and that would make it even better. But unfortunately, he didn't. But listen, he scored 2 goals, and that's basically it. And Brentford did all they can to beat Manchester City, so congratulations to him. Man City, they absolutely bottled it because if they would have won and Arsenal would have lost against Wolves, they would have been at top of the table during the World Cup and after Christmas. So yeah, Man City and Pep and Erling Haaland absolutely bottled it. So yeah, so it actually ended 2-1. So I got 0 points on that one. So the next might see another 12:30 p.m. kickoff at the Etihad. Maybe I'm not going to go for Man City to win. It's simple as that. So yeah, so I got 0 points on that one. Right, Bournemouth against Everton. Now I went for a 2-1 Bournemouth win because I would have thought that this would be a tight one. But my goodness me, Everton have been lackluster. They have been terrible defensively. They were terrible defensive mistakes, all three of them. The first one, let me just quickly go on my phone. Yeah, the first one. You have to say that was a defensive error from Pickford because he should have done better with that save. He should have, punched it away, make sure it goes out for a foul, and that could have prevented Tavernier to score that goal. So that was really, really horrible from Everton for that goal. And then the second goal, another defensive mistake, and Keith Moore scored that brilliant goal to make it 2-0 in the 25th minute. So that was 2 goals in like 7 minutes. So yeah, and you have to say that Bournemouth deserved it because they completely dominate Everton from start to finish. Of course, Everton did had a chance to likes of Anthony Gordon, but he missed. And then another defensive mistake from Everton. I think it was Connor Cody for that one, and Justin Antony make it 3-0 in the 69th minute. And I thought to myself when I saw that, I was like, hey, it's going to be game over for Everton because we all know no 3-0 means. And then Everton had chances to get a compilation goal, but they've missed an open sitter. Open sitter. I forgot who that was, but they missed an open sitter. And that sums up Everton's game against Bournemouth. They didn't deserve to win. Bournemouth did. So another loss from Everton as in different competitions against Bournemouth. Wednesday was the AFL Cup, and now it's in the Premier League. So Everton are in serious, serious trouble. They don't want to be relegated, but if they keep on playing like this, I think they are going to get relegated. So yeah, unfortunately for me, Everton were lackluster, they were terrible, but for Bournemouth dominated. And since they got that win, let me just have a look at the table. Bournemouth now are in 14th place. They are now just 3 points above the relegation. So yeah, that win for Bournemouth was really good because if they would have lost, they would have been in the bottom three since Nottingham Forest beat Crystal Palace. So yeah, they need to get that win, and that's what it did. So congratulations to them. Right, moving on into Liverpool against Southampton. Now, this one really surprised me as well because Liverpool don't really do well against teams in the bottom three, and since it's the new manager bounce, that's what I went for a shock 2-1 Southampton win, but Liverpool beat them 3-1, so I got 0 points for that one. So yeah, Darwin Núñez scored 2 goals, and that tells you that 9 goals and 2 assists in 18th game. So 11 goal contributions in like 18 appearances, which is not that bad. It's not that bad. It could have been better, but it's not that bad. And the kind of service that Darwin Núñez needs to get, that's exactly what Liverpool did. So well done to them. Of course, Southampton say Hadam scored to make it 1-1, and then I thought to myself, boy, could my prediction be right? Because I went for 2-1 Southampton, but no. Defensively, Southampton were just all over the place. Firmino scored the first goal, brilliant header from that free kick, and then Darwin Núñez scored 2 goals in the second half to make it 3-1 at half time. Of course, Southampton made very, very good chances to get back into the game. But Alisson was the best goalkeeper for Liverpool. The number one makes some big saves to deny Southampton to make it a draw, and that would have been a really good points for them because they would have been out of the relegation zone. But since they've lost, they're still in the bottom three. So yeah, the new manager, Nathan Jones, really needs to get Southampton back to winning ways. Otherwise, they're in serious trouble for relegation. So yeah, it looks like Darwin Núñez is back for now. If we can keep this up, then that's good. So yeah, Liverpool. If I look at the table, Liverpool are now 7 points behind Tottenham. So I still think Liverpool struggle, but if Tottenham can lose a couple of games and so that's United, then maybe Liverpool will have a chance to finish in the top four. So Liverpool need to keep on winning and hoping that other teams slip up, the likes of United and Tottenham. That's the only way I can see Liverpool in the top four. So well done to Liverpool, win for them, but Southampton really disappointing, really disappointing. All right, we move on into the next one, where it's Nottingham Forest against Crystal Palace, and I went for a Nottingham Forest win of 2-0, but I only get 1 point because it was actually 1-0. And let me tell you something, if Jesse Lingard would have scored that goal, I would have gotten 3 points. I would have gotten 3 points because I went for Nottingham Forest win. So if Jesse Lingard really disappointed me, and I wouldn't get 3 points. But listen, 1 point is better than nothing, so that's basically it. But I'm really disappointed for Jesse Lingard, and I knew Nottingham Forest will win because yes, away West Ham they got that win, but going to City Ground ain't that easy. And Wilfred Zaha, for me, that penalty that he missed will really cost them Crystal Palace because listen, even though they might score that goal, I believe Nottingham Forest will get that win. I would have, but he missed that penalty and it cost his team the 3 points. So yeah, they've won against West Ham, but they've lost against Nottingham Forest away. So yeah. So I got 1 point for that one since it's actually ended at 1-0. So yeah, Crystal Palace were absolutely terrible. Nottingham Forest had more chances to make it more than 1-0, but listen, they got that win. So and it's back-to-back wins for Nottingham Forest. And if you look at the table, they're now in 18th place, but now 1 point out of the relegation zone. So if they can win their game after the World Cup and other teams slip up, then maybe their manager, let me see if I can get his name. Um, Oh God, them Nottingham. Give me a moment, guys. Who's the Nottingham Forest manager? Stevie Cooper. Yeah. So if Stevie Cooper can get more wins for Nottingham Forest, then maybe he would be under some serious pressure for Nottingham Forest. So they need to keep this up. They really do. So yeah, congratulations to Nottingham Forest, but disappointing for Crystal Palace. All right, we move on into the next game, which is Tottenham Hotspur against Leeds United. Another thriller. Like that's got to be the best game I've watched so far because Leeds United bottled it. They really bottled it because they were 2-1 up, but then they allowed Tottenham to Tottenham to win the game. And I'll explain the goals as I scroll through down what happened. So let's start off with the first goal. El Dyer, for me, I don't get why he picked for the World Cup. Yes, I know that during the first few matches when the season began, he looked good. But for me, he still hasn't over the part, let's say from October to now, he was terrible as a defender. So for me, I don't get why he and Maguire is picked, but not for Kyle Tomori. It's shocking from Gareth Southgate. So that was the goal that they conceded. And Somerville is absolutely on fire right now for Leeds United. I'm telling you, the only player they need to look out for is Somerville for Leeds United. That's the only thing because he can run and he can score. So that was 1-0. But then Harry Kane made it 1-1 after Leeds United gave him much space and they were absolutely terrible in that defending. but like both defenders for both teams were absolutely terrible in defense. So yeah, you can tell why both teams conceded lots of goals, but Tottenham ended in a win. So yeah, Leeds went for back four, Tottenham went for back three. They didn't start James Spence once again. So yeah, it looks like Tony Conte got it won, but listen, he got the win, and that's all that matters. So yeah, Harry Kane scored, and then Rodrigo. You know, the amount of space that Tottenham gave to him. You know, and I keep on saying this, when you give players that much space, you know they will punish you. And that's what Rodrigo did in the 43rd minute. And I think that Dyer should have done better with that one. He was absolutely terrible in that game on Saturday afternoon. Absolutely terrible. So that was 2-1, and that was half time. And then Ben Davies scored a wicked goal. But the goalkeeper and that Leeds defender should have done better to prevent that goal in. So like I said, both teams were terrible in defence. Terrible, you know, even though it was a good game, you can say that both teams was terrible. So yeah, Ben Davies, what to go from him, what to go. And then Rodrigo, once again, that left hand side, you know, the amount of space that Rodrigo had in the 76th minute, make it 3-2. So I was like, back and turn, over and back. You know, it was simple as that. So I thought, Rodrigo was scored that goal, and then Bentancur scored 2 goals in 2 minutes for Tottenham to make it 4-3. The third one, once again, much space, and then he scored that goal to make it 3-3. And then 2 minutes later, he went all over Leeds United defence. Leeds United should have done better blocking that goal, and then Bentancur scored, and they didn't do that, Leeds United, to make it 4-3. And then what turned out to be bad turned to worse for Tay Adams, because he got a second yellow card and he was sent off in the 87th minute. So he will miss one game in the Premier League for Leeds. So yeah, both teams didn't defend really well, but Tottenham won the game. So now they were in third place before the Newcastle game. So yeah, Tottenham fans will be disappointed under Tony Conte, but they'll be happy to get that win. It's as simple as that. So yeah, so I'll go 0 points because I went for a Leeds United win of 2-1 rather than a Tottenham win. So yeah, that's basically it. Then we move on into the next one, which is West Ham United against Leicester City. Now, this one I got my first 3 points because I went for a Leicester City win of 2-0, and I knew that Leicester would get that win. And guess what? Back-to-back wins for Leicester City under Brendan Rodgers. So yeah, well done to Leicester City for that one. So the first goal was James Maddison with that brilliant goal in the 8th minute to make it 1-0, and then in the 23rd minute, I was thinking to myself, boy, he was down injured. I was like, could it be that for the World Cup? We have to wait and see what happens, because Gary Southgate made the right decision to call James Maddison, but unfortunately, is he going to miss the World Cup? Because I really don't want James Maddison to miss it. I really don't. So let's hope and pray to God it's not a serious injury. Let's hope and pray to God. But yeah, he scored a brilliant goal. West Ham made a few chances, but Danny Ward makes some big saves. They defended really well, Leicester. And then Harvey Barnes, you know, a player who deserves to be in the World Cup, scores another great goal in the 70th minute. And yeah, I have to say back to back, you have to say Leicester deserved to win. You know, even though West Ham dominated possession and more chances, you have to say Leicester, they deserved it, and I knew they'd get the win. And looking at the table, they went from the bottom in 20th to now in 13th. So you have to say that what an absolute turnaround. So if Leicester can keep up like this, maybe, just maybe, they'll finish above the mid-table. So they need to keep on having that winning mentality so that they won't, so that Brendan Rodgers won't get sad and he won't be under some serious pressure. So yeah, congratulations Leicester City, another win, another clean sheet. But for West Ham, David Moyes is under some serious pressure because they are now 1 point, just 1 point behind, above the relegation in their 16th played. So West Ham need to really get good results, otherwise David Moyes could get sacked and West Ham could potentially get relegated. And I don't want to see that happen. So West Ham really need to get some good results when the World Cup is over. So they need to get good results. So yeah, that's basically it. All right, the next one, the one I got it spot on was Newcastle against Chelsea, and I got my prediction right, 1-0. I'm not gonna say anything that much because I've already said in my review. If you guys miss it, make sure you guys go back and look at that video because I wasn't surprised, but once again I was fuming, I was angry, and that's basically it. And I knew Newcastle would get the win. And Joe Willock in the 67th minute scored a wicked goal. Koulibaly, once again, I don't know what's going on with him, but he was terrible for that goal. He should have at least ran past Almiron, blocked, made that, get rid of that ball from Joe Willock to prevent it being a goal, but instead he didn't. It was a brilliant shot, and Mehdi, I feel bad for him because for me, he had no chance of saving that. No chance. So Koulibaly was absolutely terrible. Like, we were terrible in this game, and I knew we would lose because we don't have the mentality of challenging for the title, 100% finishing in the top four, and winning a trophy. Now look at this. Since Liverpool won their game and Nottingham Forest won, we're now in 8th place. Thank goodness that Fulham, didn't win, and who else? And Crystal Palace didn't win. Thank goodness for that. Otherwise, we would have finished in the season in the mid-table before the World Cup. So listen. Thank God that the other teams didn't win, but I'm still disappointed because we are now 8 points behind Tottenham, who in the top four, and now 60 points behind Arsenal. So I knew Chelsea would struggle. And when I look at that video, I saw a person texting me and said, I'm a terrible fan. Really? So what do you want me to do? Do you want me to back this team? Because I won't. The only way I'll back this team, is I see some players get out of my club, buy some world-class players, and back the manager. That's the only way I can back this team. If I don't, then I'll still criticize the players. I won't criticize the manager, but I'll still criticize Todd Bowley if he sacked him or doesn't give the players that he wants in January. It's as simple as that. I will never back my team, ever, because they will always hurt me. They will always give me angry and disappointment, screaming and shouting and ranting. And I don't want that to happen. But they allow me to do this, and it's simply ain't good enough, man. Simply ain't good enough. Get rid of the players, those that want to play for Chelsea, and bring the players that want to play for the badge, because it's simply ain't good enough, man. It ain't good enough. So that's basically it. So I got 3 points because I knew that Newcastle win. So 1-0, and that's it. Right, we move on into the last Saturday night's game, and it was Wolves against Arsenal. Now, you have to say that Wolves, on the first portion of the game, looked lively. They had so many chances, but Wamsdale made some really good saves, and Wolves was screaming for a penalty, but the assistant referee was right because he was offside, that Wolves forward. So, for me, if he wasn't offside, then that would have been a Wolves penalty. That could have changed the game, but he was offside. So, and then there was no goals in the first half, but GW16 had bare chances, including that Coast Wade. So, but listen, he may not score goals, but he still had that impact. And guess what? He had made the impact for the first goal because he ran past Wolves defenders, fed the ball to Ødegaard, I think in the 56th minute to make it 1-0. And that's basically it. And then what is it? And then Ødegaard scored again after another brilliant goal from Gabriel Martinelli on the left-hand side, who Wolves players gave them much space, and he fed the ball to Ødegaard once again, and then he scored. So, so Arsenal are now 5 points clear of Man City during the World Cup and during Christmas. So, listen, I told you guys, take Arsenal seriously because they're playing really good football. They backed Mikel Arteta of last season since all the fans want him out. They got rid of players and they brought in some really good players. And now look, They were in a title race. I'm not gonna say they're gonna win the title, but for me, they were in a title race and they'll finish in the top four. So that's basically it. So well done to Arsenal. They deserved it. And that's what Chelsea should have done this season. But for me, Torboni got it wrong. Absolutely wrong. He didn't back Thomas Tuchel. He didn't got rid of the players that Thomas Tuchel wants, and he sacked him. And that's why we keep on sacking and hiring, and it's not good enough, man. Graham Potter needs time to get rid of the players that he wants, bring in the players that he wants to sign, and maybe I can change my mind. But if I keep on saying this every single time, then I'm not going to back my team. I'm not going to support this team anymore. It's as simple as that. Look what Arsenal did last season. Look at where they are right now. That's what Chelsea need to do. That's what we need to do, but we don't, and that's basically it. So yeah, Underscore scored 2 goals, also 5 points clear. So congratulations to them. But let's see if the World Cup, if everything is changed, because there could be some players that are injured, and that would affect the team. But we have to wait and see. But well done to Arsenal. All right, the next one is Brighton against Aston Villa. Now I went for a draw, 2-2, and that could have happened. And I'll tell you guys why in a couple of moments. But yeah, so let me focus on the goals first of all. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so Brighton scored in 44 seconds into the game, and it's Alex McAllister to make it 1-0. And I was like, boy, I feel like for me that's got to be the fastest goal so far this season. So yeah, 44th minute. So yeah, it was 1-0, and then Aston Villa for the last pauses in the second half was actually better than Brighton, and then. And then Aston Villa awarded that penalty, and for me, that was definitely a penalty because that Brighton defender, I think it was, Pascal Gross, didn't want to get the ball, fouled, I believe it was Ollie Watkins, and then referee wanted the penalty, and then Danny Ings in the 20th minute scored the penalty to make it 1-1. And they have to say that Brighton were much better after that 1-1 goal. They had bare chances, but Martinez made some saves, and then Brighton did the same thing. So you have to say that a draw in the 1-1 in the first half was fair, and then Brighton was absolutely terrible for that goal because they didn't clear the line. I've forgotten who assisted Danny Ings, and then Danny Ings scored to make it 2-1, and then you thought to yourself, boy, could Aston Villa get another win under Unai Emery? And the answer is yes. But for me, I should have gotten 3 points, because for me, that Brighton penalty was definitely a penalty. It was definitely a push. That Brighton defender, I think it was Tower Mings, didn't get that ball, and that should have been 2-2. Should have been, So for me, that referee ruined my 3 points. But the same thing goes to Brighton too, because they were better in the second half, and there were so many chances, that they could have either drawn or perhaps win the game. So that's basically it. So I was really disappointed with Brighton, but for me, referee win my 3 points, because I would have gone 3 points. So that game actually ended at 2-2, but it actually ended 2-1 to Villa. So yeah, another win for for Aston Villa, and now they're in 14th place on an absolute turnaround after Steven Gerrard got sacked. So well done to them. And then we move on into the last game before the World Cup, and that was Manchester United against Fulham. They have to say that Fulham deserved to at least get a point, because they were the much better side in this game. They really are. They cause Man United threat. They have more attempts, more shots on target. They look threatening, but Eric Ten Hag, the second substitution for him was right, because they knew that Man United need to win this game, which they did. So yeah, Christian Eriksen scored a really good goal on their counter-attack. I think it was Luke Shaw that fed the ball to him, and it was really good for Manchester United in the 40th minute from Christian Eriksen. And then Daniel James, the former Manchester United player, scored in the 61st minute. I have to say that was really good from Willian, because he started passing the ball to, I think it was someone like Reed, and then Reed fed the ball to Daniel James to make it 1-1, and then David De Gea was shaking his head because he could have done better with that one. Really could have done better with that one, but he knows that that was a really good goal, 61st minute. And then Fulham, who's who conceded a late goal at Manchester City, does the same thing to another Manchester club, and that was Manchester United. And Garnacho, who is 18 years old, scored a brilliant goal at the death to make it 2-1. So Fulham once again just cannot hold to a draw. They simply cannot. So they've conceded a late goal against Manchester City, and now they conceded a goal at home against Manchester United. So that's really disappointing. But the Man City game, they deserved to get a point, but they didn't. The Fulham game, the Manchester United game, Fulham deserved to at least get a point, but they didn't. So once you can see late goals, you know they let the team down, and that's what Fulham did. So really disappointing. So what's a story for Garvahal, and that pace from him to score that goal. Honestly, I think Man United fans said that he can do far better than Cristiano Ronaldo. So that's basically it. So yeah, so I went for 2-1 United, and that's exactly what happened. So overall, I got 12 points. So for me, that is my highest ever points ever. So I'm happy that I got the most points before the World Cup. So yeah, that's basically it. So I'm really happy for that one. Before I go, guys, I'm gonna just quickly say the Man United situation. And I have to tell you guys, Man United are simply in the mud. They simply are, because I think either yesterday or early on today I saw a few bits of the Cristiano Ronaldo interview. And I have to tell you guys that I think for me, if I was a Manchester United fan, then I would be absolutely fuming, because I heard him talk saying that he doesn't want to be a Manchester United player anymore. He's sick of it. They're not giving him time. They're not starting him. So yeah, but for me, listen, if you don't want to be at Manchester United, then leave them. But I know in January they don't want him to go. They really don't want him to go. But Man United owners need to realize that whenever Ronaldo starts, Man United don't win the game at all. When Ronaldo doesn't start, they might like to play well without him, and they win. So for me, if Man United want to be in the top four, then for me, I think Cristiano Ronaldo should leave Manchester United and maybe go to Chelsea if Chelsea want him. That's all I can say, because Chelsea looks like the more likely team to sign Cristiano Ronaldo in January. So if Man United want to win games and want to be in the top four, then for me, Ronaldo needs to leave Manchester United, because the way he disrespect that he's in his former team before he went to Real Madrid, for me as a Chelsea fan, is really unacceptable. So that's basically it. So that's all I can say on that one. So for me, I saw his interview. If you guys want to check his full interview, make sure you go to Talk TV, which is Sky Channel 5 to 6 if you live in the UK. So that's basically it. So make sure you guys do that, which I did, and I know you guys want to do that too. So make sure you guys check that out, and trust me, it's an explosive and there's a few points you can capture. So that's it. That's all I got to say on Ronaldo. So yeah, let him leave in January, and if he wants to come to Chelsea, that's fine. That's basically it, because for me, we need someone who can dribble past players, and I know Ronaldo can do that. So yeah, that's basically it. So that's what I can say on Ronaldo on Manchester United, and the bad form he's in. That's what I can say on that one. So that is it, guys. That is your final predictions review show before the World Cup. So I want to say good luck to everybody. For those of you that are going to the Qatar, good luck to yourselves. Make sure you perform for your team, for your manager, and for your fans. And whoever wins the World Cup, well done to you. And I'll make sure I give you guys some FIFA World Cup content on my channel if I'm not that busy. So make sure you guys don't miss any of that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, if you are new, hit the subscribe button below, hit the bonus notification so that you never miss any of my YouTube content. And there's FIFA FIFA World Cup content that's coming up very, very soon. So make sure you guys don't miss any of that. Make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and make sure you click the share button so that you guys can give your opinion on what happened during the game. If your team deserve to win or deserve to lose, let me know in the comments down below so that I will tell you guys more information on that one. So you guys can just comment, and I'll get to them as soon as I can, and I promise you I won't miss any of them. I promise you. So make sure you guys do that. So yeah, final predictions review. The World Cup. Let's bring it on. Let's bring it on. Let's see who will win this year's delayed FIFA World Cup in 2022. I'm looking forward to it, and I know you guys will be looking forward to it too. So make sure you keep up to date on that one. So thank you guys so much for watching. Look after yourselves. Take care and peace.